As far as internships are concerned, whether graduate or undergraduate internships, there are no latecomers. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Oluwaseun Joshua Ayanshola. I am popularly known as Sage, or the Sage of Oxford. I am very excited and very appreciative of the love that you've poured on the channel since we started about 3 weeks ago. If you're just stopping by for the first time, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Today on the channel, I am going to be sharing something I think is super helpful. It's basically like the procedures and the tips, the story of how I secured internships with PwC, and then from PwC to the Africa Finance Corporation, from the Africa Finance Corporation to Laniwa Ajayi to Kpmg to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and from the Stock Exchange to Aluko Anoyibode, and from Aluko Anoyibode to Rand Merchant Bank. So I'm going to be telling you all about the journey, like the rigorous application processes and the other ways that you can secure an internship other than by applying to HR. So I always like to give value, so you need to pay attention, get a pen and a paper if you must. So my first internship ever, so the first thing that I like to say is that as far as internships are concerned, whether graduate or undergraduate internships, there are no latecomers. So that's the first thing. There are no latecomers as far as undergraduate or graduate internships are concerned. So I didn't do, if you go on my LinkedIn page today, you think I've been interning since I was born, or even from my mother's womb. But the truth is, my first internship ever was in second semester of 500 level. So if you're an undergraduate or you're in your final year and you haven't interned and you're feeling like you've failed in life, I am here to tell you that, look at me. I've been stunned out. Great. So if it is any comfort, you can still make the most of that period between 500 level and law school by starting to applying early enough, and then you can get all the internships and be strategic about your application. So that said, no latecomers as far as internships are concerned. So the next thing is that you should, if you don't have a very impressive CV, I didn't have a very impressive CV, but I had the grades, so I didn't just shoot to the top firms from the beginning, so to say. My first internship was with a mid-sized firm called Sefton Frost. The founding partner is Olayemi Ayanichi. At the time, she was and she still is, a patron to the International Law Student Association. I applied to the firm and mentioned that I would have about a month or two before we resume second semester. So she said, oh yeah, great idea. So one of the ways to get graduate internships or undergraduate internships is by networking. So if you have very strong relationships and you can build those on LinkedIn. Now remember, I have shared this a dozen times. You shouldn't connect to somebody and immediately you're asking them for favors. Build a relationship. Ask them if you can volunteer, or you can ask them if you can research. You can be a volunteer researcher. Ask them if you can volunteer on a project that they are working on. I remember before I even interned at PwC, I had volunteered on Taiwo Idele's Impact Africa Foundation. So look for ways that you can give back to your mentors, and then you see them being restless until they see you succeed. So that is certainly a way. So my first internship was accepting Frost. And another thing is what you do while you're doing that internship. That's the topic for another day. So while I was accepting Frost, I remember that we had worked on a microfinance bill, and I gave it like everything, and I think I did pretty good work, and because my junior colleagues who interned there after me told me about how the founding partner spoke glowingly about the work that I did. So that relationship subsists till today. In fact, I can't even go into the details of how she sponsored my trip to the US and so many other things. So it is beyond the work. You want to be an impressive person, somebody who reminds the partner or the senior associate about their younger self. You want to just stand out from the crowd, and that means putting in extra work. The good thing about that is at that level, the expectations are not very high, so you don't have to be extraordinary. You just have to show that willingness to learn, and it's probably going to turn out fine. I went to Septim Frost without any internship experience on my CV, but after Septim Frost, my CV was starting to look impressive, because at Septim Frost, being my first ever internship experience, I made sure that I did enough, that even that one work experience, but look at all the many activities or roles or tasks that I undertook while I was interning. So it made that singular experience like about a page full of roles that I did while I was there. So that's another thing you need to pay attention. So if you haven't done a lot of internships, when you get an opportunity to intern, then you need to do a lot of work so that you can write all of the things that you did in that singular internship on your CV, and then the person just feels like even this person who's interned in 7 other places hasn't done as much work and hasn't learned as much as you who's done only one. So very relevant. So after I wrote my project, and then the final results weren't out, but of course we had signed out, done all that ceremony and everything. So I came back to Lagos. My friends were already interning. I think Great was already interning at Banwani Gudalo at the time. I came back and I was waiting on PwC. So I'm going to tell you a little, just after this, I'll tell you about the PwC experience. So while I was waiting, I just didn't want to sit at home, right? I decided to apply to Babalaki & Co. So Babalaki & Co wasn't taking interns. Now that's another thing. So many of the firms would not advertise that they're taking interns. So I applied anyway. First, I applied to HR, then I went on the firm's website and I was just looking through and saw certain partners who had graduated from IFE, and I sent them, a cold mail saying that, oh, my name is blah, blah, blah. I just recently graduated from IFE with this, that, grades and whatever, and I would love to learn under your close supervision and attach to my CV. So I applied to HR, applied to the partner as well, and the partner forwarded it to HR, and the rest is history. So they called me and asked me if I could resume the next day, and I said, sure, why not? So there again, first one, relationship can get you an internship. The second one is being proactive and cold mailing HR partner, even though there is no advertisement, can also secure an internship. I started the following day was a Wednesday, and then I went on Wednesday, and on Thursday I got a call from PwC telling me to start the following Monday, and I needed to go down to like sign some documents or so I only interned at Babalaki for 2 days. And don't guys, I mean, it's PwC, so I had to just bail on Babalaki like that. I left, and till tomorrow, like I had like this supervisor, Yetunde, I can't remember her last name. We worked together only twice, and she was already looking forward to seeing me like the following week, and like we're already planning how we're going to go to court together, and he just didn't find this boy again. And one day, I think I ran into her like at the club or something, and she was like, where did you go? Like, you ran away and something. And then I told her, I had to go to PwC. That was actually a great experience. I mean, within the short period I was there, I did learn a bit. So for PwC,